Bezrat Hashem, the Gemara this morning, Eruvin, page 39b. So, Resh Galuta was the chief rabbi of Israel. On his table, a lot of the students were eating. Sometimes he would have thousands of students on his table for breakfast, lunch, and supper. So one day it was Yom Tov, and they were sitting at the table, and a goy comes and he brings a deer, a big deer, as a present to the Resh Galuta. So this deer was brought on Yom Tov, and it was brought outside of the city. And normally, something that comes outside of the city is not consumable. You cannot eat it because it was brought outside the boundaries of the city. Rav Nachman and Rav Chizda achlu. Rav Nachman and Chizda ate from the deer. Rav Sheshet lo achal. But Rav Sheshet, the third rabbi that was there, did not want to eat. Man de achal, how come the two first rabbis ate? Savar, Abba, Bishvil Israel ze, mutar Israel acher. They said, this non-Jew, this goy that brought the deer, right, as a present, did he bring it for us? He brought it for the chief rabbi, for the Rosh Galuta. So the halacha says, if he brings it for one Israel, right, for one Jew, the Jew who was brought for is not allowed to eat it, but somebody else could eat it. So therefore, they said it was not brought for us, it was brought for the Rosh Galuta, and they ate. Rav Sheshet lo achal. Rav Sheshet didn't want to eat. Why? Because it says when a goy brings something for the Resh Galuta, he knows that the Resh Galuta, the chief rabbi, does not eat alone. He has a lot of students sitting and eating with him. So probably he meant, so it should be for the rabbi and all the students. Therefore, he's included also, and he didn't want to eat from that deer. Right? Just as we go along, just you should know, not all deers are kosher. Some deers are kosher, and some deers are not kosher. For sure, that deer that the Gemara is speaking about was kosher. But 15 years ago, in Israel, they brought what they called Australian red deers. And as we read in the parasha of Shemini, what are the kosher signs of animals? The Torah speaks about two kosher signs: split hooves and the animal chews its cuds, which means if you look at the feet of the animal, you will see it as if it has two nails. You see they're split. It's like split. The hoof is split in two, as if she had two nails. And then the animal is also ruminant. It chews its cuds, right? But you should know that's not the only signs of kosher animals. In the Gemara Cholin, the Gemara gives us more kosher signs. Okay? So let's explain. So 15 years ago, they brought this red Australian deers to Israel. Good price, good meat, and everybody jumped on the occasion. There's a big rabbi, the chief rabbi was Rav Shlomo Amar. Rabbi Shlomo Amar, he said, I never heard about this deer. Let me inquire, let me look into it a little bit. He went to a big zoologist in Israel, in Jerusalem, and he asked him about the deer. Did you ever hear about the red Australian deer? He says, oh yeah, I have even skeletons of it. He went and he looked around on the skeleton of the red Australian deer, and what did he find? Something very interesting. One of the kosher signs of a kosher animal is not only the split hooves and the ruminants, it's also on the top jaw of the animal. It's not supposed to have canine teeth. And for the big surprise, when he looked at the skeleton, he opened them out and he found on the top, all the way in the back, two little canine teeth, right? Which renders the animal not kosher, even if it has split hooves and even if it's ruminant. To tell you that it would be this not the signs written in the Torah, that's not the only thing. There's other signs also mentioned by our rabbis in the Gemara, and we should be careful, right, when we look at kosher signs animals, right? Even fish, right? What do we say about fish? It has scales and it has fins, right? It's not the only signs. They say kosher fish, the Gemara explains, have the head is like sharp, right? It's not round, like a whale, right? Or a dolphin, or all kinds of things. It's like pointy, right? It's pointy, and the tail is split in two, right? This is one of the things. It has also the back, right? The back is solid, not as not kosher fish which don't have a backbone, right? And there's many signs. So you see the signs written in the Torah, not only signs, there are other signs. So again, the deer in this morning Gemara is speaking about a kosher deer, but there was a different problem. It was Yom Tov, and it was brought outside the boundaries of the city, and two rabbis ate it, and other rabbis didn't eat it. Then the Gemara goes on and tells us, the marketplace was open in Machoza, which was a big city in Babylon, and they brought in turnips, and people would go and buy on Yom Tov from the merchants. They wouldn't pay. So what the goy merchant does, he writes it down, and you would come after the holiday and you would pay him. So they brought turnips, and a lot of Jews went out to the market, and when they saw the turnip, they wanted to buy. They came and they told the big rabbi Rava, and they told him, they brought a lot of turnips to the market. Are you allowed to buy it? So Rava says, let me go and look. He goes, he looks, says the Gemara, Chazia de Kmisha. He saw that the turnip was not fresh. He told him, yes, you could buy it. So the Gemara says, why? If the turnip were fresh, so that shows they were cut from the ground today. So if something is cut from the ground today, you're not allowed to buy it because it was brought to the market by a sin, right? By cutting it off from the ground. Okay, a goy cut it, but he cut it for you. You are the buyer. So in this case, you would not be allowed to buy it. But since he saw the turnips were not fresh, which means they were cut even before the holiday, in this case, Rava says, there's no problem. You can eat it because it was brought for the majority of goyim to buy, and you also can profit and buy it, right? Now, the next day, when they saw the Jews coming and buying the turnips, they brought even more turnips. Then Rava told them, don't go buy, because they saw you're buying it, and that's why they brought it specially for you. In this case, you're not allowed to buy. So, in other words, a goy, a non-Jew, is not allowed to make any work for us, not on Shabbat and not on Yom Tov. Whatever you're not allowed to do, a goy cannot do for you. It's very complicated, there's a lot of it, but B'ezrat Hashem, in one of our classes, we'll get to it. So meanwhile, stay safe, and I wish you a great day. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.